Hello everyone, I welcome you to our ongoing lecture of Indian anthropologist. Today in this video we are going to study D.N. Mazumdar, who's Indian scholar, has significant contribution as far as Indian anthropology is concerned. We'll start directly from the list of works that D.N. Mazumdar has put into the life. He actually was one of the person who was interested in the study of cultural pattern. Now what cultural pattern is, we'll do it in the unit 2.1 of paper 1, so you don't need to worry much about it, but you have to remember when we'll be doing cultural pattern you have to remember D.N. Mazumdar, because he is one of the greatest scholar of anthropology, so you have to remember the cultural pattern. Then he also wrote Introduction to Social Anthropology, then Caste and Communalization in Village, Race and Culture in India. Now this 10 marker googly that I am always talking about right now comes from this works. Okay, you will go to the paper and you will realize that in 10 marker question 1 or 5 this two things I have mentioned, like caste and communalization, done, and you don't know what to write. So you have to know that caste and communalization is a work of D.N. Mazumdar, and he basically was someone who was talking about it in the light of villages. Okay, village study. The next is the race and culture. Similar will come, there will be a direct question like race and culture, and it will be 150 word answer and you will have to write it down. So you need to understand that this is a work of D.N. Mazumdar. Then if we talk about his contribution to the anthropology, it is utmost of a significance. Now he has done a lot of ethnographies and field work, and we are going to discuss about it. Then he also went to study the cultural change, developmental anthropology, physical anthropology. He is someone who defined race as someone, group of people which are having a similar sort of a physical appearance, so that becomes race. And then he was someone who was stalwart for this mark, that is man, area, resource and cooperation. He also studied the evolution of anthropology in India. If you remember, we had talked about LP Vidyarthi and his FCA, that is 1774 to 1990, and from 1920 to 49 and 49 onwards. But D.N. Mazumdar also gave his own, that is formulative, constructive, and I think there is some C. So he started with the same 1774, but he ended before World War I, that is 1911, and then he again until 1920 and before World War II begins, and then from 1939 onwards. So this is his contribution, that is the evolution of anthropology. Okay, the next thing is anthropometric and serological survey of, this is not Uttar Pradesh, this is United Province. Okay, back then it was called as United Province, where he conducted anthropometric and serological survey. Anthropometric survey basically means the measurement of bodily measurement. Then he also collaborated with P.C. Mahalanobis. Now you people must know this character, this personality, because as far as your postmodern modern India is concerned, this name is the first name that appears on your mind besides the freedom fighter. So next is he founded the Folk Culture Society. So D.N. Mazumdar, he founded a folk culture society, and he also established a journal named as Eastern Anthropologist. So if you want to write something about it, if you are going to mention the D.N. Mazumdar and all the quote of it, so you are going to write the name of the journal, that is the Eastern Anthropologist. Now he defined race as a group of common physical characteristics, and he actually opposed the concept of race, and he only defined it. So it's not something like he was a racist or something. He was someone who straightforwardly opposed this thing called as REES. Then he was someone who was proponent of MARC, that is Man Area Resource Cooperation. If we talk about the studies, his studies are Khasa, where he studied the polyandrous society, poly, many, androus, husband. So many husband, a women having, there is a one woman and many husbands. So he studied Khasa and reasons for that. And what reason is there? Because bride price is so high that people can't pay. So people, they'll make a group and then they'll pay the bride price and get the bride. Or female, number of female is decreasing, so that can also be a reason. Then he also studied Korwa, Tharu, Gond and Bhils. These are the communities which were studied by D.N. Majumdar. He was someone who linked physical anthropology with caste. As I was telling you about Googly, you are going to write this thing for 10 marker, because there will be a question, physical anthropology and caste, and you will have no idea what is this bombshell. You'll write a definition of physical anthropology, you'll write the definition of caste, and you will not know a context of it. So despite of you will get like 30% of marks, where you can easily get 50% of mark if you mention it correct. That is it. Then he was someone who promoted the problem oriented research work. That there is a methodology, okay, there is a purpose of research, and that is all which was talked by D.N. Majumdar. He was also someone who had started a journal called as Manai. It was an Indian journal of physical anthropology. So as far as D.N. Majumdar is concerned, this was his contribution to the anthropology. If you find some other thing you should have in your notes, these are the basic things, and of course the intermediate and advanced stage, but there might be some things that I have missed. You can add it in your self notes. So make sure that you're making notes out of it and you're doing it. Stick to it, and we're going to complete it on time. So have good luck.